In this lesson, we'll talk about how the Industrial Revolution affected different countries. It didn't just stay in Britain, it did start there though. By the middle of the 19th century, industrialization had spread across Europe and the United States, aided by the development of railroad links that brought resources to the new factories and transported their finished goods to world markets. During the late 18th and early 19th centuries, Great Britain invested considerable resources in its wars with America and with Napoleon's empire. These conflicts, however, did not impede Britain's ability to trade with the rest of the world. British Navy protected the island nation from invasion, allowing internal trade to continue and grow. The British even managed to profit from war by increasing production of war supplies to sell to their allies. France began a phase of significant industrialization in 1836 when Eugene Schneider, a wealthy Alsatian businessman, began to produce railway equipment. In 1838, Schneider manufactured the first French locomotive, the Grande, which made him very wealthy. Despite this burst of industrial activity, the French Revolution and other uprisings in 1830 and 1848 significantly hindered France's economic development. The picture in this slide shows a barricade being put up during the July 1830 revolution in Paris. You can imagine how revolutions might stop the economy. All the workers are out rioting. France and many other European countries experienced major political upheaval in 1848, collectively known as the Revolution, or Revolutions of 1848. By that year, France had industrialized considerably, particularly in major urban centers such as Paris. The end of the revolutions of 1848 ushered in an even more significant era of French industrialization. One of the initiators of this process has been Baron Haussmann, who had replaced much of Paris's medieval infrastructure after the end of the Napoleonic Wars, installing modern urban facilities such as boulevards, parks, and transportation. These changes served as a model for the entire country after 1848. The French government installed sewers, marketplaces, new neighborhoods, roads, a railroad system, and port facilities. By 1870, the telegraph wires had been installed throughout most parts of France. These modernization efforts enabled France to attract foreign investors who could fund more industrialization projects. Let's move to Germany. The Industrial Revolution began about a century later in Germany than it did in England. The Zollverein, German for customs union, united 38 German states in 1834 and created a better trade flow by reducing internal tariffs and competition. Tariffs are charges for goods that cross a geographic boundary, a tax. In 1818, Prussia became the first German state to abolish internal taxes, tariffs. In 1834, the German Customs Trade Union, Zollverein, united 18 German states in a customs union, comparable to a free trade zone like the North American Free Trade Agreement, NAFTA. The Zollverein eventually eliminated taxes between almost all German states. Trade between these states was therefore tariff-free. But trade between these states and non-Zollverein members was subject to taxes, which a central agency collected these taxes and then distributed to each German state in proportion to its population and resources. Thomas Edison's greatest challenge was the development of a practical incandescent electric light. Contrary to popular belief, he didn't invent the light bulb, but instead improved upon a 50-year-old idea. In 1879, using low-current electricity, a small carbonized filament, and an improved vacuum inside a glass sphere, he was able to produce a reliable, long-lasting source of light. The earliest electric lighting was very dim compared to the gas or oil lighting. This disadvantage meant that it was some time before electric lighting became an acceptable option for most people. Electric lighting's convenience and cleanliness, combined with the added security it provided towns and cities at night, made it popular by the end of the century. Tesla. Tesla's innovation allowed for safer lighting and power delivery to major urban centers. It also had a significant impact on industry because it provided factories with increasingly dependable sources of power. There's a couple questions for today's lesson.